teams. We are looking forward on how they're going to negate the lineup of the other onto another, but it's
Yeah.
all about on how they will engage and how they negate the jungling of the hyper carries. Yep.
Yeah, you know what? We can say much about the counters for each hero against the opposing heroes, and obviously that's how normally teams will operate. Like you always look for, okay, the first pick is the Selena. Let's secure tanky heroes. For example, the Uranus. Okay, they pick the Uranus. Let's pick Esmeralda to counter it. They pick Esmeralda. Let's go take it with the Hylos. So there's counters after counters, but sometimes that's not the best way to approach the draft. You always have to look at the overall composition. I mean, even if you counter a hero with your hero, but if you look at your composition, if it doesn't make sense, then it won't be good for your team. Nevertheless, I think that Team Vietnam, when it comes to the overall composition, they have all the ingredients that they need with their comfort style, playing style. So I think when Rob asked me what was the idea for Team Vietnam, they will have two solid side laners. That's the Uranus and the Masha. And when they feel that they can fight already, they will continue to fight. They have Angela Hylos, Claude, the funnel receiver. They will be pushing turrets for sure.
Yep, that's for sure for this one. Well, for Team Vietnam, I guess the edge for them is really on the mid to a late game because they have the Claude, which is a marksman, and we all know that the majority of these players coming in from Team Malaysia is more on a skill dependent type of hero. So I guess if it's not a good initiation play come from Team Malaysia, it's a really no go for them in terms of team fight. Although we have a double mage set up for Team Malaysia, so that's a win big factor to be considered. But there
Yeah.
goes the abyssal arrow actually hitting the Claude. But he knows, Dominus knows that it's difficult or it's kind of risky to go again for another engagement for Team Malaysia.
Jumping on to hide this time, there's the Tempest of Blades. Flicker already committed by the Angels, just level 2 at this moment. Will be able to survive that jump from Sword, and we'll live to see another day in. Uh, on the other hand, I mean, there was a kill onto the Selena, who I don't know why he stayed up top for far
Oh,
too long.
I think he actually went for a contest for the buff of the squad or Broly of Team Vietnam. But anyway, we can see a gold lead here in terms of the hyper carries of the both teams. And we
Yeah.
all know that Claude is a very fast clearing type of hero. So I guess for Team Malaysia, they need to be mindful of every bush wherein this Claude might be hiding together with the other heroes, knowing that he has the Angela on his arsenal for this one. But for Team Malaysia, they have the link, the aggressiveness is there. They also have the Selena, nice missile arrow, and it's gonna be a good team fight for them.
Now the Team Vietnam side, they are just waiting for very good items on their course. As you can see now, Broly on this Claude is already up by 1.7k, perhaps because of the kill. However, that's the kill onto the Selena. Look at how tanky this composition is from Team Malaysia. They are also able to take down the Hylos so easily. Because Team Malaysia, you talked about this, Chantel, they have two mages on top of the fact that there's Link. So burst damage in the early to the mid game is not going to be lacking, at least for Team Malaysia. And now they were able to transfer to the bottom lane where the Lunox was and able to kill the Masha. So there's a lot of wins that Team Malaysia are getting now because of their early game centric composition.
Yep, and we can see here right now on our screens that is going to be the turtle objective being started here by Team Malaysia against Team Vietnam. But here comes the glorious pathway. We have the Esmeralda with the flicker out. This is going to be 4 players for Team Malaysia. But while this is happening, a turtle has been taken here and secured here by Team Malaysia onto this fight. Here's going to be another team fight, guys. Hard guard popped in by the Angela. We have Broly on the free hit against 4 players of Team Malaysia, and Rumpel is kind of squishy for being a tank on the side of Team Malaysia, and actually that's going to be a good fight, although I'm not sure if that was a good trade for Team Vietnam.
Not the best, but I guess that's one thing that they can take at this moment. And it's not like they are so hard pressed to always win the early game. You have to be reminded that this is Masha, this is Claude, very good in the late stages of the game. So even if they are losing heavily when it comes to trades, the fact that they are not getting pushed when it comes to turrets, that's great. Although there's one turret down for Team Vietnam, but at this point it's okay because you trade the top tier turret as well, top tier one turret as well. And yeah, what I'm trying to say now for Team Vietnam is they don't need to panic at all. Just try to farm and farm and farm. Here they go. There's the glorious pathway. In comes the blazing do it. Not much damage though. So you just run away, and that's Team
Okay.
Vietnam safe. Yeah.
For this Team Vietnam, though, they need to be mindful of the side lanes. You all know that if in order to win on this kind of a meta for Mobile Legends, you need to be mindful of the side lanes. So I guess for Team Vietnam, they need to guard this Lunox because it will be really disastrous for them on the latter part of the game because it will be an output for Team Malaysia for a burst if there's a team fight. For Team Vietnam, though, yes, that is a good point for you, Wolf. We're in.
Yeah.
They don't need to be panicked on this kind of situation because they are meant for the late game. But there's another kill for also Rebecca on his Lunox of Team Malaysia. While this is happening, we can see actually Esmeralda on the deep jungle side of Team Vietnam.
Oh, they started the Claude. Nice usage of the BMI to get away. Actually dodges that jump from Arts, which meant that he will be able to survive at this point. By the way, this Claude didn't have the bounty hunter. Instead, went for the killing spree, which means that late game is indeed the plan here for Team Vietnam. They don't really want to dominate the early stage of the game. As long as they are able to transfer onto the later stages of the game with such good farm, they're okay.
Yep. And speaking of killing spree, it tells a different story for the gameplay of Team Vietnam here onto our game number or series number 2 for the Razer Sea-Invitational. Onto the goal lead, you can see actually 4.4k gold for this Claude of Broly. So a lot of farm actually to be fed here by Broly on this Team Vietnam. But we can see here right now, it's going to be the second turtle for this match. Turtle has been taken here, plus the Blazing Do with Arts on the flicker out. We can see the Angela on the heart guard. The damage was there, but Team Max is still alive for Team Vietnam. Here comes the Tempest of Play. It's come from Sword, but oh my god, guys, we could see there is no actual casualty onto this game, and Lunox is there for Team Malaysia, taking down that second turret against Team Vietnam.
Look at this discipline from Team Vietnam. They are not diving heavily. And once they get stunned, they might be taken down though. But that was obviously coming up from the Selena with a stun. Now T-Max is in trouble. That Urena is going to be pummeled down. In comes the Blazing Duet, but the Hylos will be taken out even through the Gross Pathway and the Revitalize used. And they'll also be able to take out the Claude, who actually fought. Now there will be an exchange. A kill onto the Lunox, but that's just a kill onto side laner. And the Basha to jump onto the Masha.
Oh.
Nicely done from Rumpel. What a punish from Team Malaysia.
Actually, what a series of events for Team Malaysia. One way or another, we saw Team Vietnam on the upper hand in terms of team fight, but there was the surely team fight coming in from Team Malaysia. We could see them engaging right after the Heart Guard was procced by this Angela of Team Vietnam. If there's a hard guard for the Claude, it's not a good idea to engage a team fight whenever you're facing a Blazing Do It. So for Team Malaysia, what they did is actually waited for that skill to go for a cooldown, and right then and there, the players of Team Malaysia was just ready to go in a war against Team Vietnam. Although for Hyde, it's gonna be a Necklace of Durance. Although Rumpel is alone against the 3 players here of Team Vietnam. Selene is down together with Rumpel. Here comes the glorious pathway in by from 2-3 of Team Vietnam, and again 2 casualties for Team Malaysia.
On top of this, Team Vietnam will be able to secure a turtle. So that's really good for the team, because I thought that Team Malaysia will be able to control the game from now, since they just won a very good team fight. But Team Vietnam, whenever they find these pickoffs, because of the fact that they have solid stuns, solid single target stuns, I mean, and so much damage coming out from the Claude and the Masha, whenever Team Malaysia is isolated from each other, they can win fights. And that's what we can see from Team Vietnam. They have to take advantage of the fact that when it comes to 1-by-1 pickoffs or mini skirmishes, Team Vietnam will win. But for Team Malaysia, if they group up, if they utilize all of the resources now, they have Lunox, Esmeralda, as well as the Ling. They have so much team fight damage that they can overwhelm Team Vietnam. So maybe at this point, both teams will consider Malaysia, you'll win when there's a team fight. Vietnam, you'll win with skirmishes or pickoffs. So it's going to be up to them how they're going to use those kinds of advantages.
Yep, and actually, for this both hyper carries for Team Malaysia and Team Vietnam, we could see both having the killing spree, so they're not really on the early part of the game. They're really prepared for the late game, so that's when one big factor for this both teams. We mostly see Ling and the squad with the bounty hunter spell, but for these two teams, they know and they are prepared with the team they are battling with. As we can see here on the bottom lane, we could see a turret secured for Team Vietnam onto this game. It's gonna be 7.7k gold, although for a trade, it's gonna be Angela down for Team Vietnam. And here comes another team fight onto the silence. Oh my god, Chuchong, a very sustaining hero here. We have the Blazing Do It out actually for Team Vietnam onto this game, and also Raveki on his Lunox, just like what you've mentioned earlier. He's really meant for the Lunox peak of Team Malaysia.
Yeah, I like this. I like how they are trying to still win those team fights, because that's exactly what they need, and the timing isn't just perfect, because you will have chance to take the Lord unless Team Vietnam will find this pickup. But no, that's gonna be the case. Claude gonna be taking the ultimate coming from the Angela. It gives the Link with the Times of Blades. Damage is not enough though. The Link is gonna be punished onto the backlines. There's a Blazing Do It. Rumble in trouble. Rumble gonna be taken away by Team Vietnam, and there could be more. Lunox as well as Arts in trouble. That's the Esmeralda gonna be chased down, but only fended off by Team Vietnam. Team Malaysia losing 2 means that Team Vietnam might take the Lord this time, unless the Selena can take this one. But no, Hylos is gonna be there to guard them.
Yep, for this game, what's interesting is that for the gold, actually, it's kind of close. Knowing that Malaysia is up for the hero kills, it's gonna be again a killing spree for the squad on this match. Plus, the Lord objective actually. So I guess for Team Vietnam, what's the good factor for the lineup is that they are more on the DPS. We have the Masha, we have the Claude for the lineup, the perfect support actually, 2 tanky heroes for this one. So just like what I've said earlier, for Team Malaysia, they are more on the skill dependent kind of team lineup. So they need to be mindful whenever these heroes, specifically the Claude and the Masha, goes in, because it will be a lot disastrous for them knowing that there is the first Lord for this match.
And I think this is not the only Lord that we'll see at least taken all throughout the game. Honestly, there's a lot of Lord taking potential for Team Vietnam. This is just Masha. You can see that he can 1v1 the Lord given the chance. So Team Malaysia, starting from now, from this minute on, they need to be careful about getting picked off by Team Vietnam, because every time that they lose those trades, they will lose big objectives like that Lord, for example.
Yep, and actually for Team Malaysia, their map control is really on a little side right now. For Team Malaysia though, we can see a bit of light on the gold for the Sling. They have the double mage setup, just like what we've been talking about earlier. If you have a double mage setup on your lineup, it's very easy for you to clear minion waves. So that is a big difference for the lineup of these both teams. For Team Vietnam though, they have the long range. For this one, unlike for Team Malaysia, it's more on the melee type, skill dependent kind of hero. Although for this one, for a sword, we have this Blade of Heptasis. It's kind of risky though for Team Malaysia if we have sword on the really deep part of Team Vietnam clearing the minion waves. He needs to be part of the team fight, so he has to go for the backup whenever he is needed.
Yeah, we'll see how now, because Team Malaysia are kind of finding a lot of difficulty getting out of their base. Like, the defense is not a problem that much, because again, they have Lunox, they have Esmeralda, they have good wave clear among their heroes. Maybe the only problem is that they need to kind of get close to the minion waves so that they can defend and clear the minion waves. But the bigger problem is it's not easy for them to get out of their base, maybe get those buffs for themselves. Maybe the Ling can because of the natural ability of the Ling, but aside from that, this Lunox and this Esmeralda might not have the chance to touch their own orange and their blue buffs. That's exactly what is happening now. Ling in trouble because of this, gonna be chased down by the Glorious Pathway, but it's already too far away to be taken down by the Hylos. But the purple buff will be taken nonetheless by the Claude.
Yep, and actually, Wolf, for this game, I could see Vietnam just maximizing the potential of their lineup. We said earlier that it's all about the objectives for
Yeah.
Team Vietnam. They chose this mashup together with the Claude, and voila! For Team
Yeah.
Vietnam, it's more on the objective. All second tier turrets down against Team Malaysia. So again, for Team Malaysia, all they have to do is to go for a team fight. Although the problem here is the only crowd control that they are relying on to is Abyssal Arrow, plus this most probably a single target stun coming in
Yeah.
from Baksha of Team Malaysia.
Now the next is they need to kind of contest the Lord, which will be up in about 12 seconds, and that's a problem definitely for Team Malaysia because what Team Vietnam can do is just to shove the waves and have this Masha take the Lord on his own, and I have no doubts that he can. And he will do that. This is what's gonna happen for sure. The lanes are gonna shove against Team Malaysia, and then Masha or the Claude or both of them will take the Lord so easily.
Actually, for Team Malaysia, I guess they should not invest more on this clear the minion wave. Rather, they need to actually invest on taking down heroes against Team Vietnam. It's a lot of a bit story if you take down one hero, but here comes Team Max with the kind of sustain we are seeing right now. We have Broly together with Angela on the heart guard. Oh my god, the sustain is there for Team Max and a disengage for Team Malaysia onto this game. While this is happening, Masha or T-Dep Try is taking this Lord for Team Vietnam, plus the Sea Halbert.
And that's you know what, you can theorize anything you want but about the items or whatnot, and Team Vietnam for sure will benefit on those value items, but for Team Malaysia I cannot see a way for them around this. Maybe they can, yeah, like you said, get those valuable items, right? But if they don't perform well in the next coming minutes, they will not be able to win this. And by performing well, I'm talking about them landing that Selena Stan arrow on very crucial targets, like maybe T-Max even, and then try to burst them down as soon as possible, get back to base, clear it out once again, rinse and repeat. That's gonna be incredibly hard as Team Vietnam is now setting up in the middle, Shandel.
Oh my god, here comes a glorious pathway coming in from this highlights of Team Vietnam, and inhibited turret onto the middle lane is down for Team Malaysia. We have the Fleet here, plus the hard guard. Oh my god, here comes the blazing duet. While that is happening, we have this Smash and destroying another inhibited turret. There, here comes Arts on the damage, but not enough actually coming in from Team Malaysia. Another flicker out. Unstoppable actually for the Claude of Team Vietnam. Last 3 players for Team Malaysia to defend their base. Falling Storm coming in from Arts. 5 still for Team Vietnam, but here comes Angela being taken here by Team Malaysia onto this game. We can see the minion wave flowing really smooth for Team Vietnam, plus a monster kill for the Claude, and we have Vietnam taking in this game.